Hello everyone, my name is Cameron and welcome back to your regularly scheduled nonsense, where continuing off of our last video, we will be doing my 10 favorite platinums of 2024. I'm trying to adjust my camera, sorry. I think that's probably as straight as I'm going to be able to get it because I'm kind of brain dead when it comes to angles and shit like that when it comes to straightening this fucking thing. Really cheap. So yeah, we're going to continue off of where we left off of what we did last time. For today, we're going to do my 10 favorite platinums of 2024, starting with my least favorite of this list and going to my very favorite of this list. Genuinely, any of these games probably could have been anywhere on this list. They're all really, really good. And again, this is solely based, as much as I can at least, on the experience of the platinum rather than... Sorry, the lighting is like really weird because of the light being like directly above me over here. Can I maybe fix that by just doing that? Kind of. Slightly. That's fine. This will be more based on the experience of the platinum and less on the game itself. But when I recommend the games, it's more based, it's kind of a mixture of both on whether I enjoy the game and the platinum, or, sometimes just the game. But before we do get into that, we have a couple honorable mentions. They go to Dave the Diver. Very, very good game. Got that platinum. Have yet to play the Godzilla DLC stuff. Did download it, so should technically be able to play it, but I'm not 100% sure. Really just haven't gone back to it because I just haven't had the time. I've been playing a lot of games this year. But yeah, very fun. Very small indie game. Was a lot of fun for me to get. We also have Chia, another smaller indie game that I played this year. Had a blast playing that one. Really loved it. And yeah, would really love to see if they decide to continue that world of Chia. I thought it was really good and really cool experience learning about the culture that it's based off of. And then we have Daxter, the spin-off game for Jak and Daxter. A lot of fun. Platinum that one very recently. It's probably the most recent platinum on this list, actually, is Daxter. Quote unquote, most recent on the list, I should say, because obviously it's just an honorable mention. Actually, I'm going to also add honorable mention to Caravan Sandwich, which I just finished the other day. Finished it after I finished writing this. So, yeah, that one was a lot of fun as well. Played that one on the channel, and went and got the platinum recently, as we missed one trophy because of a glitch. And finally, another one to Superliminal, another small indie game. Had a lot of fun playing this one. Really, really straightforward platinum for that one, so it was a lot of fun. But without further ado, let's get into the list proper with number 10, Secret Agent Clank. Secret Agent Clank. This game is amazing. Genuinely, I love playing it. I'm a huge, huge fan of the Jak and Daxter and Secret Agent and Ratchet and Clank franchises. They're two of my favorite franchises, probably of all time. So when I saw that this one got added to PS Plus, I was like, you know what? I could use something quick to platinum, just a little, something fun, something I'd never played before. And so I was like, yeah, why not? Let's give it a go. It only goes to number 10 because at times some of the trophy needs did bog down just playing the game. Like they got to the point where I was like, I'm not really enjoying going for these specific trophies, or more so, it just felt like I had to go a little bit more out of my way for one or two of them than I really wish I would have in the situation. Why is my lighting being so fucking weird? I don't understand why its focus is going super weird. Who knows? It seems to be when I look up and it like reflects the light off my skin, I'm noticing. So I'm going to try not to look up too much so I can avoid having that continue going. But I'd never played this game. It was a PS Plus, like port for from PSP, and I had a blast playing through it. So really wanted to try it out for the first time. Amazing game. Had an amazing time playing it. 10 out of 10. I recommend this one so highly. It was a game that, in my opinion, trophy wise and gameplay wise was really fun and should be experienced by pretty much any Ratchet and Clank fan. Next, moving on to number 9, we have Death's Door. Hey, look, another indie game. This is one of those where I knew as I was going through it that it would end up on this list. It was kind of a lot of fun, and part of that is probably because I streamed it as well. It sucks saying it's at 9, but again, I had a lot of fun with every platinum I got this year for the most part. And small indie games like this did fill the list. They really were the games I tried to focus on as much as I could. But I do still highly recommend it. The story was really cool. The world that you're playing in is really well set up. It's really well designed. The aesthetic is really good for it. They have a lot of world building elements in the background that you don't really always notice. You have to kind of look out for a little bit more. And you get to play as a little crow dude, and that's awesome. I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10 on the recommended. If you do it, go through 2 playthroughs. I think that's the best option. You could theoretically do 1 playthrough and do everything with your playthrough, or you just fight with the umbrella. But I personally think that the better way of doing it is play through the game first, do all the upgrades, all the collectibles, all that stuff, and then play through it again with the umbrella. So you have a little bit more experience. I think it's the better way to go about it, as this is kind of Souls-light sort of game. So, yeah, but I can't recommend Death's Door enough. I think it was a fantastic game, and I'm very happy that I played it this year. Next, moving on to number 8, we have the House of the Dead remake. I absolutely loved House of the Dead when I was a kid. I used to play it so much. So finally getting to play this game again was a no-brainer. I wish I would have gotten it sooner. I do. I'm really pissed that it took me so long to get this game. It was a fairly straightforward platinum. If you've ever played the House of the Dead games, you know that they are on-rail shooters. They're very straightforward how you play them. And platinum-wise, that was the same thing for this. There was like a few trophies that you really had to go out of your way to get. But for the most part, it was literally just play through the game, make it through a level without dying, stuff like that. Very simple. And I cannot recommend this one enough. 9 out of 10. Again, I think, especially if you love on-rail shooters or if you've played House of the Dead in the past, I think this one is really the best option to go for. And I think you can get it done in maybe 6-7 hours. If you really put your mind to it, you could probably speedrun this and get it done super fast. Next, number 7, we have Control. So it's confession time. I have never played any of the Alan Wake games. Not a single one. Not the spin-off game, not the original, not the remaster, not Alan Wake 2, nothing. This is my only real experience within this franchise's world, I guess, is the best way to put it, since Control is linked to Alan Wake. I got the 100% on this one because, duh, and again, I'm not kidding when I say, let me double check. Technically, I don't have the 100% on one of these games right now because I haven't played it in a bit. But yeah, besides Portal Knights and one game on this list, everything else is 100%. But the one that's not 100% on this is just because I haven't played the game in 3 months. It's not because I didn't want to get the 100%. I just haven't played it in a while. But I do own the remaster. I've heard good things about the remaster of Alan Wake, but I've still never played them. So going into this, I was nervous about not liking it because I know Remedy has a history of being kind of out there with their games. And so I was a little nervous about it. I did play it for a bit. And then when I finally went back to it earlier this year, I had an absolute blast playing through it, and I enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the gameplay. I enjoyed the world building. I enjoyed the designs on the enemies. I enjoyed every last little bit of this game from start to finish. Was fantastic, and I'm so excited to play the sequel. And I very, very highly recommend this game at a 10 out of 10. I think if you've never played an Alan Wake game, or if you have, play through the entirety of Control. DLC included, because there's an actual Alan Wake tie-in DLC as well. And that's kind of what really tells you, yeah, this game is also in the Alan Wake franchise universe. As far as I know, the only game of theirs that isn't is the Xbox exclusive Quantum Break one, I think is what it's called. I can't remember. The one with Shawn Ashmore that also tied into the TV show. Every other game that Remedy has made that's kind of this weird sci-fi stuff is connected. You can look it up and find like all the connections that go between all of their games and stuff like that, and the shared universe that they're building for Alan Wake. But I absolutely loved playing through Control, and it really does get me wanting to play through more of Remedy's game catalog, especially the Alan Wake games. Because Control blew my fucking socks off. Next, on to number 6, we have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. This game genuinely surprised me by how much I enjoyed it, as I am not the biggest Star Wars fan ever. I have literally seen the prequels and the original trilogy. That is it. I've tried to watch The Force Awakens, couldn't get through it. I've watched most of the Clone Wars TV show, but like all in all, Star Wars media that I've really kind of experienced is very limited outside of video game, I guess, because I've also played Lego Star Wars, like the original Lego Star Wars. But I had a lot of friends suggest this game to me, and I am genuinely so happy that I did end up playing it. I have Star Wars Jedi Survivor, I just haven't played it yet. I'm genuinely so happy that I did end up playing this. The platinum is relatively easy. There's not a whole lot of grinding that you really have to do, which in a game like this could very well be a problem. It could very well grind out a lot of time just for this. I finished this game in like a week, if that tells you anything about how non-grindy this game is. And has me excited to play through the sequel and a potential third game in the franchise, and see where Cameron Monaghan's character of Cal Kestis goes in the future of Star Wars, even if I'm probably not going to experience any of it, because again, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. The gameplay loop was a lot of fun, which is saying something because this is like a Souls-like game, and I'm not a big fan of those normally. But 9 out of 10, very highly recommend it if you like easier Souls-like games. I'm very much on the side of, I don't really want to play Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, but I'm fine playing like Rise of the Ronin, Death's Door, Jedi Survivor, and Fallen Order and stuff like that. You know, games that are a little bit more enjoyable and aren't just torture. Next, on to number 5, we have Skur Ritual. I'm still not entirely sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Skur, like Made of Skur is the other game that's in this, and this game is a tie-in spin-off game of Made of Skur, or Scare. Again, I don't entirely know how to pronounce it. I'm probably going to learn when I play the game, but I've heard it a billion times too, and I always forget how they pronounce it in this game, because they do say the name a few times. But this is the game that doesn't have 100%, because I've yet to go back and do, I think, like 1 or 2 Easter eggs or something like that. I think I'm missing like a couple Easter eggs that have to be done, and then I'll have 100% on this game again. Last year, Killing Floor 2 made this list because it was a really fun horde shooter. I platinumed with Alex. It was one of my favorite games of last year for a reason, not just because I had to play it and platinum it with my friends, but also just because it genuinely is a game that really appeals to me. I love COD Zombies. I love horde shooters. I love games that play this way. So that was a lot of fun, and so was this, for basically the same reason. Fun COD Zombies-esque game set in the Made of Skur/Scare world that I got to play and platinum with Alex, Hunter, and Noah. The 4 of us played it together pretty much non-stop for like 4 months while we waited for Call of Duty Black Ops 6 to come out. Really the only reason we stopped playing is because the beta for COD came out, and then COD came out, and yeah, we all just got really busy with other games. But this game is fantastic, and I do need to go back and finish the 100% and get it out of the way. Still have yet to play Made of Skur. We'll get to that in a different video. It is on my list to play soon, though, and 10 out of 10 I recommend this if you like COD Zombies. And if you played Made of Skur, it'll probably be even better because of the fact that you'll probably know more about the story than what me and the guys knew going into it, because none of us have played that game yet. So that was kind of a pain in the ass to really not completely understand the lore super well, but know it just enough going into it. Next, number 4, we have Metal Hellsinger. This is one of the more recent platinums on this list. I think I got this one like... hold up. It's the 26th today. I got Metal Hellsinger about a month ago. So, not super recent, but still fairly recent. Technically speaking, the most recent are Daxter and Caravan Sandwich being on the honorable mentions. But for the actual list, Metal Hellsinger is the most recent at about a month old platinum. This one was recommended to me by Alex when I was kind of looking for more indie style games to play. And also, I love rhythm games. He knows that, so he recommended it to me. It's kind of a cross between rhythm games and Doom. If that sounds awesome, I highly recommend this game. I also really love Doom, so playing through this was kind of a no-brainer. I jumped into it since it was on PS Plus, and if I remember correctly, it was like going off very soon. So I was like, I should play this before it's removed from PS Plus. Not that I don't want to pay for it and give support to the developers, but because at the end of the day, I was kind of broke at that point in time and really wanted to play the game and saw the opportunity. Soundtrack was really fucking killer. I loved it. A lot of really like good heavy metal from, I can't remember the band's name, but they were really, really good. The world was designed really beautiful and the story was really, really good. I'm not going to spoil it here. I'm not talking about the stories of these games for a reason, because I could go on and on about some of these games. But Metal Hellsinger, platinum-wise, is also really easy. I think like the hardest trophy for me to get was just dying like 25 times, because it takes so long to die in that game on, because I think I only played it on like normal, what would be the equivalent of normal, because I didn't know how hard it was going to be. So dying did take a while, but eventually I got there. And yeah, I had a blast playing it. Genuinely hoping for a sequel to this game. There is a VR version of this game, but I don't have PSVR 2 right now, so when I do get that, I do plan on playing through the VR version. Give it a solid 9 out of 10 for this to recommend it. I genuinely think you should go for it. Go get the platinum on this game and play this game. I don't think it gets enough love. It's fantastic. Moving on to the next game, we have number 3, Slime Rancher. I love cozy little farm games. Alex and I are currently in year 3 on a Stardew Valley playthrough together, and it has been so much fun playing that game with him. So this game, which was kind of also recommended by him, but more so I knew I wanted to play this game because Slime Rancher is just a game I'd always been interested in, but like with Raft and a lot of other games, I never had a console version, so I couldn't play it when I was really getting into it. And then it came to console. Raft is on console now, and I do need to pick that up soon so I can play it with my friends. But I saw Slime Rancher available on console and said, you know what? I'm going to play that because it looks like a lot of fun. And, you know, hadn't seen anything on it in a long time, as was kind of starting to see people do Slime Rancher 2 content, which is now also on console, just without trophies right now. So playing through this was kind of like something I could do to satiate my appetite until Slime Rancher 2 dropped. Like I said, yeah, and it's one of those ones that I would definitely play again and again and again because I really just enjoyed it that much. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it, like 12 out of 10, highly. The platinum is mostly super simple. The hardest trophies are like getting 3 gold plorts from 1 golden slime, and then, which there's a lot of easy ways to do that, and then the speedrun trophy, which is also not super hard. I think I got it technically on my second try because it crashed on me midway through my first attempt. But then my second attempt, which is really, I'm counting as my first attempt because it was my first full attempt, I got it no problem and was able to get this platinum earned and had a fun time playing it. Cannot wait for the sequel to get trophies. And yeah, the world is really beautiful. If you've seen Slime Rancher, you know that already. And the slimes all kind of have like their own unique personality and stuff like that. And there's such a vast difference of slimes, which I really loved. It wasn't just you kind of see like, oh, there's a green one and a red one and a blue one. You have like, okay, here's a pink one, and then here's a tiger one, and then here's one that fucking glows in the dark, and then here's one that goes invisible, and then here's one that irradiates you, and here's one that fucking blows up, and here's one that phases through fucking walls. It was so much fun getting to play through the game and see all these different slimes and the way they reacted with each other and things like that. And yeah, I cannot recommend Slime Rancher enough. Next, on to number 2, we have Thrillville. If you heard me talk about this in my most recent Platinum Journey video, then you really shouldn't be surprised that this is on here. It was such a beautiful nostalgia trip to play this game, and I felt like a kid again going back to the first time I ever played Thrillville. I think my mom had bought it. She just kind of seen it at the store and bought it for me and my brother. Mostly for me, because it was more up my alley than it was his. But we played the hell out of this game and the sequel so much when we were younger. And when I saw that it got trophy support, my first thought was, I want to be the first to get this. And I was. As far as PSN Profiles is concerned, I am the first person to get the PS5 Platinum for Thrillville, which is the big reason it comes up on this list, because I genuinely feel super accomplished having that. I think it was something that was insane for me to get to say that I have the first achiever on a game that I used to play when I was a kid and now have again. Excuse me. It's like really early in the morning. I haven't slept very well. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about it, or genuinely the easiness of its platinum. It was a very easy platinum to get. There's a few trophies you have to kind of go out of your way for, but for the most part, everything kind of comes naturally to you as you play it. 20 out of 10, I recommend this one. Like, genuinely, if you played it as a kid, go back and enjoy it. Yeah, the controls are kind of wonky, but the game makes up for it so much because you understand why they're not the best, because it is technically, I think, a PSP port, and PSP not very good all the time. And finally, number 1, we have Dredge. So, a year ago, when I got this game in December of 2023, because Alex bought me a $25 PlayStation card. This was the game I bought with it. And I almost platinumed this within like a day and a half. I literally waited like 3 days so this could be my first platinum of the year. And I'm not kidding. I got this platinum January 1st of this year. After 3 days of waiting to get like 2 trophies. And then I jokingly told Alex, this is probably gonna be my number 1 platinum on my trophy, my favorites list of this year. That was a year ago when I made that joke, and a year later, that joke is coming true, because while I played so many games this year that I loved, and so many games could have easily taken this spot, Thrillville could have easily taken this spot. So many games could have easily taken this number 1 spot from Dredge, but every time I think about what was my favorite experience platinuming and 100%ing, because I did go back and do the 100% a game this year, and which game would I say, I kind of want to go do that again, and could easily go do again, because I have the PS4 version of the game as well. I was thinking, like, what game would I go back and do again without any question, like, just to enjoy the game experience again and the world and the story, and Dredge keeps popping in my head every time I think about that. It was literally, I finished it January 1st, and my first thought was, I want to see if I could get this done in 24 hours from start to finish 100%. And I'm still thinking about doing that. I really am, getting the PS4 version of this game, just playing through it just to see how fast I get the platinum. Because if I really would have done it, I would have had the platinum, and at the time, the 100%, because the second DLC pack hadn't released at that point in time. But had I done that, I would have seen how fast I could have gotten the 100%. Now, obviously, with another DLC pack, it'll probably take me a little bit longer, but I still really want to go through and see how fast I can get Dredge platinumed and 100%ed, because it just sounds like fun to me. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about this game. It had such a fun platinum experience. Like, if you've played the game, you know why this is getting the number 1 spot. I genuinely just loved it so fucking much and had such a blast playing it that I can't recommend this one enough. It gets another 20 out of 10. It is genuinely, in my opinion, a platinum that every trophy hunter should have, and a 100% that every trophy hunter should have. I stand by that wholeheartedly, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the retrospective of 2024 for my least and most, my least favorite and most favorite platinums of the year. Stay tuned, as 2025 is hopefully going to be a bigger and better year, and you guys will learn more about that in my next face-to-face video, as we will be talking about what my platinum challenge that I'm going to be doing is going to be for 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite platinums and least favorite platinums of the year were. Stay golden. Peace.